All right, Dom Giordano's show. Momentarily, we should have Newt Gingrich. We'll play that for you. And he's talked about this before. He sets up metrics and says, hey, and he starts, if you've been here 10 years, you haven't committed a crime, you've paid your taxes, X, Y, and Z, and we ought to set up comprehensive and you ought to be able to stay. This is a non-starter. All right, he has been on the wrong side of that forever. Now, Stacey Garrity was in town yesterday to tape a podcast called Ruthless, Americans for Prosperity, and the Inquirer's got a big piece up on how she differs on ICE versus Josh Shapiro. And just the whole tenor of this, the left is misreading this. Let me put it to you this way, and we're going to talk with the Border Patrol interim or whatever union president today. If it had continued in the manner we saw with Kristi Noem and Bovino, if it had continued like that, then I'd have to say this is a negative. America, given the media, given what the media is going to do, et cetera, this is going to be a loser issue, big time. But they're misreading it. They think that America has turned away from what Trump ran on and arguably was the number one issue in 2024, certainly in 2016, build the wall. They're misreading it, and they think they're going to swoop in on this, that ICE is just hated beyond belief across the country. And think about how many places where operations are undergoing right now. The difference with Homan is he's a pro. Kristi Noem and also Bovino are just not up to this job. They butchered this. I'm going to give Paul Morrow today at 2:30 a victory lap. If he were in charge, you can't let these people be interfering in an operation. Cordon it off, do the operation, and get out of here. Why would you not do that? Because they're not good enough. If it continued like that, then this would be a problem. But look at what Homan has done so far. I'm not saying there won't be other problems. I'm saying Larry Krasner and the others, though, because they're in this bubble of a mob in Philadelphia, are misreading this. They think this is a winner in the midterms. You know what I think Democrats have going into the midterm? Two things. They got something they can label it, to put it up in front. And then underneath that, they got something potent, but you don't want to say it too much. Just sheer, unadulterated, crazy hatred, particularly females. And that's what's going to drive turnout. But you don't want to say that. You want to say something nicer, affordability, while meanwhile, you know what's driving it. Now, the Republicans have a lot of good things that are happening, but what is going to drive their turnout? Well, if they go too far in immigration, which they will, that helps. All right, here is Newt Gingrich telling us, jumping into the middle of this, now's the time to talk about that comprehensive reform. All right, Newt.
So I think there are two things. We need a national conversation about what we're going to do about people who've come here, some of them 20 years ago, who've been obeying the law, paying taxes, good neighbors, have kids, go to PTA. Very few Americans want to see the police walk in and pick them up and deport them. On the other hand, people do not want to give them citizenship. So there should be some middle ground here on long-term goals. Second.
All right, so there's Newt Gingrich again. I think that's overreading it too. I don't think that's what the last election was about. But the optics of this weren't good. Trump picked up on that, and that's why things are looking better. All right, let me go to Robert in Ben Salem, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Robert, afternoon.
Hey, Dom, Henry, good to talk to you guys today.
Same here.
And I'm a bit of a procrastinator, but Happy New Year, Dom.
Thank you very much.
Come on, February.
Remember Dom Giordano Day? Wear your party hat.
I just had to throw that in there for a friend. But anyway, I'm going to. I have to ask you a question, Dom. because I don't think I'm as familiar with the situation as you seem to be, and I want to learn something. What is being gained, and I'm not saying it's not, but what is being gained by replacing Nome with Homan in Minneapolis? I mean, what was the knock on Nome that made people say she needs to be changed somehow?
What she said in the wake of the shooting was one, and the other part to this, it's tactical, operational, and maybe that's the Bovino part. Homan immediately said what Paul Morrow's been saying, and I've been saying, Robert, you get in and you go out after the bad guys, and you have 3,000 people there, have them cordon off these riotous protesters, do your thing and get out of there. Do not be standing in the streets drawing with them. Don't be around them. Don't go to what they're doing. The local police are not going to help. The state are not going to help. You have to avoid them, essentially, because stuff like this can happen. You're there to complete the mission. And somehow or another, he got them to say they would release people in jails.
Okay, well, see, that's where I have my problem with this. See, in my view, anybody who in any way impedes law enforcement should be arrested. I know that.
Well, wait a minute. We're on the same page, but they're not. They're not arresting. They're not arresting effectively. In other words, you cordon them. If they still try to interfere, you arrest them. You have vehicles there. You put them in. You take them out of what you're doing. Try them federally to the fullest extent. You don't stand around engaging them back and forth, though.
I agree with you 1,000%, but I just want to point out, man, that this falls on the local law enforcement.
Of course.
And if they're not cooperating, it just bugs me that Nome is catching a bad play for that.
Yeah, but it's more than that. I hear what you're saying. It's more than that. Look, I saw the best of her, Robert. She looked great. She handled herself in the clinches. I'm standing 6 inches a foot away in the spin room, but other than that, there's the messiness of the biography. There's the messiness of what she said last week. Corey Lewandowski's there. It looks bad that the two of them are romantically, I'll put that word in there, together, et cetera. It's just all bad. It's messy. You don't want that.
Well, I was surprised by how much I liked what she was doing after that biography, Dom, because quite frankly, I thought she was a little crazy. We talked about that with the eyes before. But I like Homan coming in no matter what goes on with Nome, but I was just curious about that because I haven't been, what exactly did she say about the Minneapolis shooting? I don't want to take too much time.
She immediately called the guy a domestic terrorist. They started running him down. And the media, I think we hit yesterday talking with listeners, the point on this guy, he was a good guy before. He quit nursing. He was radicalized. Now he was doing this type of stuff. They could not back up at that point what they were saying. Optically, it looked like they were piling on a dead guy. Homan didn't do that. He just got in and did the stuff that you have to do.
I hear you. Okay. All right. That makes a lot of sense to me now. You know how I feel about this, Tom, but I hope it works out well. Yeah. I'll get right to my answer, and my answer is going to be Joe L. You guys have yourself a wonderful day, all right?
Thank you. All right. Yeah, very few Joels. Text Roe and just see. I think Roe will get this one. Just say Joel.
Oh man,
the Roe tester.
Well, you probably have the Sixers on every night. That's why.
Well, she does follow, but Chase, it could be like, what the hell?
Yeah. No, kid, there's only one Chase in this town.
I know that. All right, we'll have to have you score during the show each day on the text line. See if she knows that. She'll know Joel. God, I hope. All right, 855-839-12. The great Corey DeAngelis is here. It's school choice week. AOC put out the best reasoning for school choice, even though she doesn't know it. She talked about her family moving out of New York to Saratoga, New York, so that she would get a great education in a better school district or private school there. Let the other kids do it. All straight ahead. Talk Radio 1210.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
In the city, and you have a neighborhood with row homes, and you shovel out your spot. Do you have priority to that since you did the hard work?
Unfortunately, you don't.
Is it really unfortunate? Why would the rule be different? On a sunny day, you have no right to that spot.
Right.
Unless you have a handicap spot or whatever like that. Why is it different when you do the shoveling of the snow and people get really triggered over it? Oh, that's my spot. How dare you? And then they put the chair out there, right? The folding chair or the lawn chair.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call us now. $30 billion was set aside for meso victims, and in most cases, your claim is settled out of court without a jury trial. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Tune in to the Crash Proof Retirement Show Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Joanne Small-Canella and Tracy Stillman. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
All right, he is the very best. He is the GOAT of evangelizing. I'm surprised we can get him during School Choice Week. He's too busy at the White House. He's the top guy, author, evangelist, troublemaker, a good trouble when it comes to school choice. And we're seeing big progress in a showdown with Josh Shapiro. Joining us is Corey DeAngelis back here on Talk Radio 1210. Corey, happy School Choice Week.
Hey, Dom, thanks. Happy School Choice Week. It seems like every week's School Choice Week over the past few years, though, in state legislative sessions, because we've had a lot of victories. The wind is at our backs. Yes, we need some more work to be done in blue states, but now we're breaking through with this new federal tax credit scholarship program. I think more blue states are going to come along because there's an irresistible incentive included in that new program that was included in the big, beautiful bill.
Well, let's set up a bet. I'll bet you a pizza. I'm going to take, because you said that, I'm going to take the other side. This weasel in the end will not relent. Josh Shapiro is not going to sign BBB. You say he is?
I don't know if it's going to be Josh Shapiro. You notice I didn't give you a timeline,
okay.
But I do think that over time, all governors are going to opt in because it's kind of like the 21 drinking age to where everybody chooses 21, but that's because it's tied to federal highway funding. And with the school choice program, it doesn't touch a single cent from local school budgets, either from local funding, state funding, or federal funding. That all stays the same. This just incentivizes additional private donations to come into your state. And guess what? You can only receive those scholarships, your constituents, if you opt in. So It creates a weird situation where if you don't opt in, you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot. And one Democrat's already come along. His name is Jared Polis from Colorado. And he said that it was a, quote, unquote, no-brainer decision. And he said, quote, he would be crazy not to. And he's right, because Why would he want his constituents, whether they know it or not, donating to scholarships to families of the constituents of Governor Greg Abbott in Texas, his political opponent? So Jared Polis is the first Democrat domino to fall, and I think we'll have others. I thought Josh Shapiro was going to be first, Dom, because Josh Shapiro pretended he supported school choice when he ran for governor in 2022, included it in his education platform, and then when he vetoed it, which is crazy, his own campaign promise, he pointed his finger at Bradford in the House and said, look, the Democrats control the House. It's not my fault. I just need to get a budget done. And what ended up happening is you fast forward to today, that decision is squarely in the hands of the governor. And so there's no pointing fingers anymore. Josh Shapiro can't have his cake and eat it too. It's time to put up or shut up. He either has to choose the teachers unions or he has to choose the truth, which, in order to go along with what he said in 2022. He even said in 2023 on Fox News saying he supported school choice. So come on, man. 27 other states have already come along. And I thought Josh Shapiro would have been first if he was a school choice supporter, like you said.
You are a guy with all the balls in the air. I'm glad you referenced Bradford, though. You don't understand this guy. I've duked it out with him. Josh Shapiro is afraid of this guy. I know that's hard to believe here at the state level.
You're the governor. You're supposed to be in charge.
I'm still saying he won't in the end, but I want to be optimistic. Now, you said 27, which is remarkable. And Polis, I'm trying to get on to kind of spread that word. And look, he's a very liberal guy, but he's a thoughtful guy. He's not just somebody you can push around. How about a state like California, though? Is that possible?
That's kind of the last frontier. Maybe they'll be 50th. Maybe they'll be 49th. They're racing for last place in California. So, but who knows? Jared Polis. A lot of people are pointing out that he fancies himself as a libertarian, or some groups do, but he's not really. He's far left on like the gender ideology issue. So even for him to kind of see the writing on the wall here, if he can do it, anybody can do it. And a little birdie told me. I used to include this map that I put on social media, all the states that said yes versus the ones that said no. 4 had said no, including New Mexico, Wisconsin, Hawaii, and Oregon. But I've taken Oregon off the no list because people are telling me from Oregon that, wait, we're working on Tina. We think she's going to come along. So I wanted to hear it from the horse's mouth. And I emailed her education director, got her email and said, hey, what's going on? Is she going to opt in, Tina Kotek? And the education director remarkably emailed back. I thought they'd see all my affiliations with these free market think tanks and say, oh, he's an enemy. I'm not going to respond to him. They said she's still deciding. So she went from being a hard no in August of 2025 that she told Education Week to now we have today in 2026 undecided. So the winds are shifting. And I think, if you can get a radical left, governor like the Oregon governor to start to see the dollars and cents here and start to make some sense, anybody could do it. And Josh Shapiro, come on, I've emailed his team as well, and they're still on the fence. They're waiting for additional guidance, and so they're kind of just kicking the can down the road.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what happens.
You're persuasive, though. You're persuading me right now. It'll happen. I haven't played it yet today, but I played it in the past. We're having a little computer malfunction here. AOC making the case for education freedom. That cut where she talks about how they moved, I think it was Saratoga, New York. I'm going to play it for you, Corey.
It's several years old,
Yeah, several years old, but it was just running the other day. And this is exactly the case for school choice. And it's AOC doing this. Here's what she said.
I looked at the quality of education in the Bronx, and they looked at 50% dropout rates. They looked at the inequity of education, the inequity of education funding, the fact that teachers weren't paid, the fact that kids weren't given their tools to succeed, and that, frankly, it not only had to do with their income, but it had to do with their melanin, too. And so they made, and my family made a really hard decision. And my whole family chipped in to buy a small house about 40 minutes north of here. And that's when I got my first taste of a country who allows their kids' destiny to be determined by the zip code that they
zip
are
code
born
they are
in.
born in.
There we go. There we go. Honey.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Why are you standing in the schoolhouse door now? Why are you doing that, Josh Shapiro? Matt Bradford, I know why he's doing it. But, Corey, I wanted to go back to something, if the average parent knew this and they're on the fence. Look, we've talked about your buddy, Randy Weingarten, who is a ferocious opponent, but is rational. At least I've had that experience. But Becky Pringle, the bigger union, the NEA, you're the only one I've seen put it out there that she's speaking at this road to political revolution, the head of the biggest teachers union in the world.
Yeah, and it's hosted by the Sunrise Movement, this far-left, climate hysteria group as well. And so this is free advertising for school choice, but it's also free advertising for families to leave, the teachers to leave the union, to go to optouttoday.com, click on your state, and stop giving your money to people like Becky Pringle who are using it for political causes. And, the teachers union, a lot of people hear it, the name of it, and they think, oh, it must be an education organization. But they don't really do anything that focuses on education. It's become a political institution. And what an easier way to show that than the title of this panel that she's talking on, the roadmap to political revolution. I mean, she's the teachers union boss, and she also has a at-large position at the Democrat National Committee. So she's not just funding Democrat candidates using unions workers' hard-earned dues. She's also funneling that money to the DNC, but also sitting on the table at the DNC as one of the decision makers. It's just crazy. This is a one-sided political organization. I think we should revoke the NEA's federal charter. They're the only they're the only union in general in America that has a federal charter, that has the backing of Congress. It's a special privilege that was bestowed to them by Congress over 100 years ago in 1906. So we should yank their federal charter. There's a bill in Congress right now to do that by House Representative Congressman Mark Harris and others who have signed on as well, including Mary Miller out of Illinois. But there's also another bill by Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis, which is to use their federal charter against them. Because if you get rid of the federal charter, it does one thing, is that it kind of gets rid of this false sense of legitimacy that they have as kind of a nonpartisan thing when they're purely partisan. But they lose some tax benefits in D.C. too if they lose it. But if you look to this other bill, they say, okay, if you want to keep the federal charter, fine. But if you do, you have to stop engaging in a lot of this stuff, including political activity. So if that had a chance of passing, the NEA would be begging for Congress to instead get rid of the charter because they'd rather be engaged in political activity. It's all they do. Yeah. You look at their annual convention in Portland last year, all they did was pass stuff that read more like a declaration of war on the Trump administration than anything else. They misspelled the word fascism in a declaration to call President Trump a fascist. You can't make this stuff up. And they killed the resolution in 2019 to rededicate the union to being about student learning. So they've made their priorities clear, and Becky Pringle let the mask slip the other day.
Now, thanks to you, and we'll tell people your book in a second here, Corey, in addition to everything else. We've been playing, it's one of the richest sounds in the last 6 months. This Representative Jim Hines, who we couldn't get on in Mississippi, where they were fiercely debating statewide school choice, he said, well, what if your mom is a meth addict and your dad is a pimp?
No.
That kid, they go to a private school. No one's going to speak up for him. In the public school, the school counselor would.
It's crazy. So, it's a Democrat in Mississippi. They ended up passing that bill out of the House.
Right.
The universal school choice bill, and his arguments basically, there are some parents who might not be able to make a choice, and those are the same parents who went to the public schools that you're trying to force everybody into. I mean, that is not a legitimate argument to take away choice from everybody. That's like saying, oh, we got to abolish all public schools because some teachers engage in abuse of students. It's like, yeah, we should hold those teachers accountable when they cross the line. Right. And they should go to jail if they're abusing students. But that doesn't mean we totally wipe out all public schools. We hold people accountable where we can. Same thing with school choice. If there's some people who are abusing their kids, I'd say that's not even a school choice issue. The government should step in
Exactly.
Regardless of whether you have a school choice program. So they're using these kind of outlier scenarios to try to paint school choice as a bad thing, where at the end of the day, the parents in general, yes, even low-income parents, know their kids better than anybody else, certainly more than bureaucrats sitting in hundreds of miles away. And, by the way, if you're going to say that the parents didn't get a good education, well, that's another argument as to why their kids should get a better opportunity in a private school and not the same failing public school that never got any better generation after generation. So that was a great argument for school choice that representative made. That bill's now in the Senate right now, and that's the holdup. The governor's a huge supporter of school choice in Mississippi. The Trump administration supports the bill as well. But the Senate president, the word on the street in Mississippi, Delbert Hosemann, apparently is not a supporter of school choice for anybody else's kids. I mean, he sent his own kids to private school in Jackson, Mississippi. So we'll see how it goes. But it's going to be all eyes on Mississippi in 2026 to be the next state, hopefully, to go all in.
All right, and 27 are going in already with the big, beautiful bill. And I hope Corey DeAngelis is right. I'm wrong on Josh Shapiro. That will be a major national story. And I think, Corey, you would argue, if you were whispering in his ear, do it, Josh, you'll stand out among Democrats. I think his advisors are saying they're going to kill you if you do it. You are the principal guy. You're dead. You won't be president. What would you say back when I rejoined to say to Shapiro? How would it help him if he does it?
Hey, look, Josh, the establishment doesn't like you already. And we saw this in his new book with Kamala Harris and pick him as VP. He was the obvious choice for VP. They needed to win Pennsylvania, and he was well-liked in Pennsylvania at the time based on the polls. And they picked stupid Tampon Timmy. Why would they choose Minnesota? They were always going to win Minnesota. And so the reason was, one, it's the whole, kind of Palestine movement of the far left, and him being Jewish. I think that was a big part of it. They even accused him, kind of in an interview with him as being an agent of Israel or whatever that means. And he supported school choice. I think that the teachers' unions were never going to let it happen. And so how about you listen to the American public and not special interest? The teachers' unions aren't going to like you because you came out and supported school choice regardless. They're going to support someone else in the Democrat primary. You might as well get the vast majority of the American public who supports education freedom on your side, Republicans, Democrats, and independents alike. No one should be forced to stay in a failing school. Josh Shapiro, if you try to play both sides here, you're going to get arrows from both sides. So you might as well stay on the team of education freedom and cross the Rubicon, join the club. We'll embrace you with open arms.
I can taste that margarita pizza now, Henry. I can see that, Josh Shapiro. I know my guy here. Your book, Corey, where do we find it?
The Parent Revolution, endorsed by President Trump, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, and many others. And it's The Parent Revolution. You can get it on Amazon. It's like 40% off. Get it while it's hot. It's a national bestseller. It's a good time to get it. The Parent Revolution. You can also follow me on X. It's at DeAngelis Corey. And teachers out there, I'm on your side too. If you want to leave the union, go to optouttoday.com. There's no reason why you should be giving your money to Becky Pringle, who's fighting for the roadmap for political revolution in America with these far-left groups. And she makes $500,000 a year. Why should you give her any more of your money? Go to optouttoday.com.
Thank you, Corey. Congratulations. You're the guy that really made it a big school choice week this year. Thanks, Corey.
Thank you so much, Tom. Good talking to you, and hope to hear from you soon.
You will. All right. Henry, if you could find, I thought we had it as a drop, maybe in the next section at some point, just signal me if you have it. When we talk about Becky Pringle, people may forget when the teachers' convention was here, that's when she went nuts screaming all the things. It was as bizarre as demented, and she got a rousing ovation from these maniac activists who pretend they're teachers. I told you yesterday, the teachers union in Philadelphia, which is the Randy Weingarten, they called it reckless, and they said, take off Friday. It was reckless to go to school yesterday in person in Philadelphia. Reckless.
All the things.
Yeah, let's hear a little more. Yeah. Here's Becky Pringle.
All the things. All the things. All the things.
All right. Yeah. It was her own lingo, et cetera. That was 2024, I think, here in Philadelphia. All right, we'll take more of your calls coming up. E.J. Antoni can hardly wait to what he says about this new Fed chair. Now, realize, a lot of people may not even know who the Fed chair is, right? The power of it, though, the stuff that goes on. I'm going to ask E.J., though, do you really think we need a Fed chair? Shouldn't that be the Treasury Secretary? Well, why the Fed chair? Why the Federal Reserve? Going back to my DB days with Irv Homer, the creature from Jekyll Island. Well, that's income tax, but the Fed, too. What the heck is it? Who are these people that control large parts of our lives, particularly if you want to get a new home? 855-839-1210.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Stalker wanted to use a flamethrower to melt his driveway. Here's what we do. Have the city, have the government buy a bunch of flamethrowers and just torch all of the big banks so we can actually have spots to park, bike lanes, places for UPS to double park to drop off stuff. It's not that difficult. In the Northeast of all places, we can't handle 9 inches and then the world shuts down for 3 days. Are you kidding me?
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or find them online at retirereadyfg.com. And get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
I dared Archwell Health to keep track of my vitals and my grandkids' names.
I dared Archwell Health to simplify my prescriptions, so Max and I have more time to play. Good boy.
And I dared Archwell Health to be closer than my neighborhood coffee shop.
Our members dared us to do more as a primary care provider for adults age 60 and up. So we made it our mission. Visit archwellhealth.com and become a member today. Archwell Health. We dare to care.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. I want to talk to the ladies for a moment. Ladies, I love the Second Amendment. You love the Second Amendment. And Bob's Little Sports Shop loves the Second Amendment and ladies who exercise their Second Amendment rights. And they have a ladies-only shoot coming up on March 1st at 1 p.m. This event is for women only, with women-only instructors. There's no other range in our area except for Bob's that has a women's-only event like this with women's-only instructors. You don't need a firearms ID card or prior experience to attend, but space is limited. So ladies, don't push off learning how to protect yourself. Go see my friends at Bob's Little Sports Shop and start learning how to protect yourself and your family today. All you got to do is go to bobslittle-sportshop.com, bobslittle-sportshop.com. And remember, they're a full-service shop with over 60 years of experience, and they'll guide you from start to finish, from applying for your permit to figuring out the perfect firearm for you. March 1st, 1 p.m., the ladies only shoot. bobslittle-sportshop.com. This ad sponsored by Bob's Little Sports Shop.
Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Listen, I know sometimes you worry about coming to see me because you don't want to invest in real estate, because you don't want to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants. I'm going to teach you a way that you don't have to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants, or even own any real estate and invest in real estate at the same time. You want to learn this, so go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com, and take a complimentary class this Thursday, and I promise you, no toilets, no trash, no tenants.
Free speech lives here. With Rich Zioli. Weeknights at 6. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
All right, it is Dom time. So one of the really, really great characters of all time. I don't know if I put it in my top 100. That's a lot of TV characters, but possibly is Gus in Breaking Bad. That's Giancarlo Esposito. So Mr. Gus, Mr. Giancarlo, the other day popped up with a weird outfit. At least Henry said it was Hollywood. But
that's
okay,
just how
it
he
was-
dresses.
Yeah, just how he dresses. Now, this is Gus, the owner of, was it 14 or so, some number like that, chicken joints, dealing meth, the big guy, the killer, cold-blooded guy in Breaking Bad. And that last scene when he gets knocked off, both the guy who kills him, the manor, and when he comes out of the doorway in the nursing home, and it looks like he's okay, straightening his tie. It's got to be a side question in there. We're working on that. But here's what he said about what should happen in America. Gus, the meth dealer.
This is time for a revolution. It's time for it, and they don't even know that's what they're starting. You know, some very rich old white men are exerting their power to suppress our own people, thus creating a feeling of civil war in the streets, preparing the haters to hate, teaching them how to shoot. They're not even trained right, to kill. This is all a preparation for a very insidious problem that's happening in our world. And for me, I have to speak out that we will not be iced out. This is not going to happen. They can't take us all down. If the whole world showed up on Putin's doorstep or on the Iranians' doorstep or in Washington, it would stop. They'll kill 550 million, however, but the rest of us would survive with a new. This is time for a revolution. It's time for it, and they don't even know that's what they're starting. But we have to be strong enough to know that we can change the world. We have to change it from within. So if I'm spiritually ready and right, you know, and I'm ready to understand other people and to agree to disagree with them and say, okay, let's find the solution together, then that starts to change things. Not by deporting immigrants, not by killing brown and even white people on the street. It's crossing over now, and believe me, this is gonna really spark the nature of so many people who are gonna show up and say, no more. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take it anymore.
What would Gus do with that type of revolt, I'm thinking? We know what he would do.
You just quote network there at the end?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. By the way, curious fact of the day. We talked about Don Lemon. We'll talk a little bit more as it develops today in the arrest, the grand jury. His attorney is Abby Lowell. When did you last hear that name? Well, this guy's the big-time attorney for those on the left. That would be Hunter Biden's attorney. And I'd say he's probably the best guy if you're on that side. So they see this as a case that America is going to be sympathetic, First Amendment. I'm sure Larry Krasner's working up some rift on it with Don Lemon here. And Don Lemon was not the mastermind necessarily of this attack. You have people clearly violative of the FACE Act and other things. But once he got in there, was he a journalist or was he an activist? Was he an agitator? The way he went after the minister and others. It seems pretty clear to me he stepped over the line, and that's all that you need with the FACE Act. Should we repeal the FACE Act? Is it too draconian? Well, that's the law now. That's what Mark Houck faced. And I believe they arrested him. He's in L.A. for the Grammys. And this, it surprised me. I thought this was over with. All right, let's go to Alan in Hamilton. And Alan, you're in Talk Radio 1210. Hello, Alan.
Hello. I thought my answer would be the first one that everybody would know, and that's Wilt.
Okay, yeah, Wilt. Please turn off the TV. Call. All right, Wilt is, of course, an unusual name. Never called Wilton. And only one Wilt, and bigger than life. So, yeah, when you say Wilt, that is a name that still, I think there's some people who wouldn't know what you're talking about. It's past. And my evidence of that would be he's not seen as the greatest basketball player. He's an afterthought pretty much now, which is shocking. It's just amazing. I know he did last played, 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
If anything, I feel like over time, Bill Russell's been the one to get more shine than Wilt.
He has. And again, you're taking a guy who was with a great team, a great coach, and a winner, Watch him dribble a basketball. Looks like a kid playing, Russ. I mean, you know.
That was everyone back then.
But again, marginal talent, but just somebody who could con Wilt into not going wild. All right, one more here before we get to EJ and Tony. Let me go to Tony and Delco on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Tony, afternoon.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good to hear from you.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, Tony.
I think I got a good name, and it kind of plays right off of your Wilt not being recognizable as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
How about if I said Kobe?
You think everybody would get Kobe at this point? It has only been a while. In fact, the anniversary of his death was just a couple days ago. Yeah.
I think more people than Wilt. There's a few names around this area that stick out. Kobe's definitely one of them.
Yeah, there's not too many Kobes, particularly that are that, and I've said at the end of the game, I'm taking Kobe Bryant over Michael Jordan anytime.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I think Kobe is becoming a more common name since he's become so popular.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
I've
Kobe
never run
White in the
into one,
NBA.
but
there is a Kobe Bryant, I believe, that plays in the NFL as well.
Right.
So it is definitely a growing name, and I feel like since his death, I feel like maybe a lot more people named his kid Kobe. So maybe in the near future, we'll see a lot more athletes coming up named Kobe.
And to plunk him down in Lower Merion, not even Philadelphia, picking on that leg. Oh, my God.
Central League. Look out.
Central League. All right, coming up, the great E.J. and Tony. So we have a new chairman of the Fed. Well, it doesn't take over until May. Is that enough time? I'm going to ask him the politics of this until the midterms. And what exactly, does he like it that we have a Fed in the way that they act? I mean, I cut my teeth in talk radio, WWDB, with Irv Homer and people like that, and it was all the rage. Why do we have this shadowy group of people? How much power do they have over their lives? And the answer is a lot, particularly if you're thinking about buying a home, particularly with the affordability and housing crisis. Phone lines, 855-839-1210.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. I'm joined here today by my friend, the co-president and CEO of Cooper University Healthcare, the one and only Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli. Dr. Maz and I are here to tell you about our buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria. Not only is he my dentist, he's my family's dentist as well. And not sure if you knew this, he's Dr. Maz's dentist too.
That's right, Rich. Dr. Mike Veneria is and has been my dentist also. And doctors choosing doctors, that can be quite a selective process. And not only do I go to him, but for years, my sister and my niece and my nephew, the whole family goes.
Well, it's no secret. We're all delighted by the care that Dr. Mike Veneria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out.
Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Veneria's office does everything. Dr. Veneria's office also exceeds all CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me.
Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
Score the winning touchdown at Borgata during the $700,000 home field hangout drawing. Earn entries for your chance to be one of the lucky winners to get $25,000 to create your dream home theater. Drawings every Saturday. Grand prize drawing January 31st. Score big during home field hangout. Only at Borgata Hotel, Casino and Spa. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
New year, healthier goals. So what's for dinner tonight? Hatfield marinated pork tenderloins, of course. Pre-seasoned, packed with protein, and oven-ready in about 35 minutes. Hatfield makes fresh starts easy, even on busy nights. And with family-favorite flavors like savory brown sugar, Texas Smokehouse, Tuscan herb, and honey garlic teriyaki, everyone gets a dinner they love. For recipes and where to buy, visit simplyhatfield.com. Hatfield, better care, better pork.
Now back to the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
All right, one of our all-time favorites. Great day to have him on. E.J. Antoni is the acting director at the Thomas A. Rowe Institute for Economic Policy Studies and George M. Herman Center for the Federal Budget. Insert joke. They need a bigger building there at the Heritage. And he joins us periodically to put into common sense a lot of what's going on economically. Today's a big day. President Trump has made this, backstory, even though powerful, the Fed chairman, he's made it into a front page story with the back and forth around this. EJ joins us to break all that down on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, EJ, welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Dom, it is always a pleasure to be on with you. Thank you so much for having me back.
Now, as an armchair guy, a very armchair guy on this, I fell asleep in economics class at LaSalle University. It was a bad teacher. It wasn't an E.J. Antoni. I kind of like how Hassett presents himself. Maybe that's why Trump kept him in more of a public role. But he says this new guy was close before, and, quote, in the release, he's from central casting, meaning he looks the part. And as we know with President Trump, that's half the battle. What do you think?
Yeah, look, Dom, one of the things that Hassett has that he's so good at is his ability to communicate. And fortunately, I think Warsh has that as well. Maybe not on as many things as Hassett, and maybe that's the reason why you got to keep Hassett where he is. He can talk about so many things in such a simple way, and I don't mean that as a negative, right. But he speaks in plain English, and he uses examples that everybody can understand. But Warsh can certainly do that with monetary policy, and he has a depth of understanding when it comes to monetary policy that is genuinely second to none. I've actually had the pleasure of sitting down and having dinner with him where we were able on several different occasions to go in depth and discuss the operations of the Fed and his vision for the Fed. And I can tell you, this guy has what it takes, and he understands all of the policy mistakes that the Fed has made over the last couple of decades. And more importantly, he understands how to fix them, Dom. And he knows it isn't just a matter of you turn this one interest rate dial up or down. No, he knows the real fundamental reforms that I think you need at the central bank to actually get real world interest rates down. Because let's remember, back in 2024, right before the election, the Fed cut interest rates. Now, you and I thought that was blatant election interference, but regardless, what happened to real world interest rates? In other words, Treasury yields, the 30-year mortgage, those interest rates didn't go down. Instead, they went up. And so again, Warsh understands the Fed has to do a lot more. They have to adjust regulation. They have to adjust their balance sheet. They need to do more than just adjust the federal funds rate in order to actually get real world interest rates to move in the right direction.
EJ, I put on my conspiracy hat, and I'm the anti-conspiracy guy usually, or something like that, shadowy. I started out in talk radio at WWDB, and back in the day there was all this, why in the world do we have the Fed? Why? Why do we need the Fed?
We don't.
Okay, good.
Sure.
You're okay.
Look, Dom, I mean, at the end of the day, this nation survived for a very long time without a central bank, without the Fed in particular. And the Fed was created allegedly as a kind of check clearinghouse between banks and to prevent runaway inflation and to prevent banking crises and depressions. And since the Fed's creation, all of those things, literally all of them, got worse, not better. The Great Depression did not happen before the Fed. It happened after. Since the Fed, the dollar has lost over 95% of its value. Before the Fed, the dollar lost none of its value, literally none. So again, this idea that somehow we need a Fed, no, I'm sorry, that's just not the case. Now, I'm not saying Warsh is going to completely dismantle the entire institution and we're not going to have a Fed in 3, 4, or 5 years, whatever the case may be. No, that's not the case at all. But if the institution is going to exist, I think he's the best person to navigate it. Absolutely.
Exactly. And you know why I think about that, too? When I see this grandiose building and the overrun, the $1 billion plus, right? I start to think, what in the world are we handing our lives over to, this unelected group, per se, with this tremendous power?
Well, Dom, this is part of the problem with the entire socialist philosophy. Let me put it that way. This idea that somehow a small group of elites know what's best for everybody else, right? And they can somehow dictate to all of us how we should live our lives. And that includes how much we should spend or how much we should save. It includes what we should or shouldn't buy. It includes what we deserve to earn on our savings. I mean, these are all the products of the Fed trying to adjust the most important price in the entire economy, the price of money. How on earth, Dom, think of this, how on earth could 12 people sitting around a boardroom table in D.C. possibly know what the interest rate should be?
Yes.
How is it they should possibly know what the actual value of a dollar should be if it's unanchored from something like gold? I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous. But again, I think Kevin Warsh understands that. And so that's a big reason why I'm very happy with the pick, and I have increased confidence in the economy going forward now.
Well, if you vouch for him with us, then that's essentially all that we need, EJ. The president made a remark, and again, I'm not picking at it per se, but politically, this gives the affordability argument of Democrats their subtitle, really. It's hatred of Trump, but that affordability argument, I'm not trying to drive down housing prices. I'm trying to keep them to go up, something of that nature. Your thoughts on this? And again, I think he is trying to give some mechanism that there's a reality test and people can get in. Case in point, you and I have talked about this, and you explained it brilliantly about we're not anti-capitalist by changing the regulations of how it's an unfair playing field with the big corporations, how they're able to buy up all these houses, and then people can't get into those starter homes. So, EJ, where's the president right now? What should they be saying on this that their mission is?
I think we need a bit of a course correction here, Dom, to be honest. And look, I love the president. You know that. But the president's human. He's not going to get everything right the first time. And I think this is one of those instances. At the end of the day, there are plenty of markets where homes were ridiculously overvalued, and they've already started coming down, and that's a good thing. We want prices, and I don't care if it's homes or, frankly, anything else, we want prices to reflect reality, period. And I think when you have home prices that are the result of artificial manipulations in the market as opposed to natural market forces, when they are artificial, that's a bad thing, and you want that course correction. And the fact is, in a lot of markets around the country today, home prices are artificially high because of policy mistakes. And when you undo those mistakes, you're going to undo their effects. And that means you are going to see home prices come down. Now, look, I understand that you don't want, in instances where, you have a couple and the biggest portion of their nest egg is their house that they're going to have to sell someday when they retire. I understand that you don't want the price to crash. You don't want a repeat of the mortgage meltdown from 2007, 8, and 9. I get that. And I don't think anyone is really advocating for that. But at the same time, we don't want artificially high home prices. We want home prices to be at their natural level, and we want that to be the result, obviously, of natural market forces, not market manipulations, which are chiefly the result of bad policy, which is frankly what we've had for about 5 years now.
Yeah, and the argument that people were trying to reach and convince and get into those homes are younger. When I hear, what was it? Was it the average or the median of a first-time home was the age of 40? And I'm thinking, EJ, something's wrong in America. I'm not an economist, but you know what? I do this every day, and something's wrong in America if that's the case. Something's off. That's way too high.
Well, Dom, exactly. And why is it that high? Because that's now how long it takes to acquire enough capital, enough wealth to actually be able to afford a home. Now, you cannot tell me in that environment that homes are being fairly priced, are being, I shouldn't say fairly, that's a word of the left, that they are being accurately priced.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, I understand home price is only part of the equation, right? The explosion in homeowners insurance costs, those premiums going up so much over the last several years, that is also a big problem, and that factors into how much people have to pay to own a home. Likewise, interest rates are artificially high. Kevin Warsh, I think, is the man to help fix that. We've already talked about that. That's another big component, too. But still, home prices being where they are today has been the result of failed Fed policy, where they kept rates way too low for way too long, and they created national bidding wars. And at the same time, the artificial restrictions on supply that has been the result of failures in government, whether you're talking about local government or state government or at the federal level.
I feel better heading into the weekend now, EJ, that you've been on here. Thank you. Thanks for always answering Henry's call. We have an inside thing going on here with that. Where do we find you on X, EJ?
The handle there on X is @RealEJAntoni. And Dom, thank you so much for having me again.
You are welcome. That's the best that I can bring you right now on this stuff. And I'm glad he agreed with me. We didn't seem too conspiratorial. He's a big-time economist. Herb Homer has our blessing on this. Yeah, the Fed. Why have these guys sitting in a room, as he said, 10 of them or whatever? Here's what reality is out there. Really? 855-839-1210. The Minnesota Attorney General Weasel Ellison denies making a deal with Homan about the transfer of people in jail. So here we go again. I think they thought Homan got too much good press going in and doing what he did. And now people on the left, see, they really don't want to hand over people, vicious criminals in jail and public. It's not about that. They want nothing to be done, nobody to be deported. Face it. It's just like Larry Krasner. Can he take a lie detector test? Can we hook you up, Larry? You hate cops. You hate them up and down the line. And you're not like Mandani, saying just stuff like you're in a college campus and all. You go for the gut and the stuff when it comes to cops. You want to get at them. You want to tear them apart day and night. You're a defense attorney with power. And seeing Ellison here, yeah, people on the left went wild because Homan came in. It looks like things are going to calm down. They don't want him to be calm there. And Trump is sensitive to this, that this issue is still what Americans want as far as getting people out that are here illegally. But the way that it was done, and we're going to talk to Paul Morrow about this from Fox News Channel, the way that it was being done was unprofessional. They didn't do it correctly. I stand on that from the very beginning. Yeah, they don't have the support of any of the cops there. We know that. That's the playing field. You're going into a hostile area. So what do you do to do it correctly? We've talked about that. All right, give me your response to EJ here. Good stuff from him, as always. And side question today, Oprah's birthday, so we thought, hit us with someone local. You just say their name, not their last name. Maybe it's a first, maybe it's Michael Jack, and people know who you're talking about. All right? Now, remember, you got to encompass a lot of ages, a lot of people to have the winner where it clearly comes out. I think there's still a few notable ones there that if you just say that, people are going to know. All right, I'm going to hold them back, though. Joe of Exton is so on brand today. I think I got to go to him next. I'm busting to bring this one.
Have to.
This guy is a branding genius, and people think he's an actor or something. He's not. I've met Joe. He's a great guy. He's real, though. This is the way he is. This is the whole persona. You can't. Oh, my God. Does he really think if you say this first name, people are going to go, yes? There's only one.
Sean's arguing that there's another one in the same profession that might be more famous.
The last name, even.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, we'll see. Sean's got. I didn't know your chops in that. That's good. We'll let you tell us. Be the judge on that one.
I mean, I work there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. We have to get into that a little bit more. That's 855-839-1210. We'll bring you that next. Hey, are you tired of feeling worn out halfway through your workout or exhausted before the day even begins? If staying active matters to you, fuel your body with Rescue Orosine. Most people don't realize your body runs on ATP, the natural energy that powers every muscle, every heartbeat, every step. But as we age, ATP production slows down, taking stamina and endurance with it. And that's where Rescue Orosine comes in. This cutting-edge formula with research-backed ingredients supports ATP production at the cellular level. You can keep going, keep your heart pumping, and keep doing what you love every day without jitters or crashes. Just use the code MyEnergy to buy one, get one free today at res-q.com or call a rescue product consultant at 800-26-ALIVE. Don't miss out. Again, that's 800-262-5483 or online at res-q.com to get your second bottle of Rescue Orosine for free. Use that code MyEnergy, MYENERGY. Use that at checkout.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest-growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
Not sure whether it's busted or salvageable? Call PJ Fitzpatrick to diagnose and fix your home repair problems. PJ will come to your home with a complete shop on their truck, and they can fix it all on the same day. Freezing, drafty windows, overflowing gutters, rotted trim, and leaking roofs. This is the time to call the home repair experts at PJ Fitzpatrick. No job too big or too small. Visit them at trustpj.com. With over 45 years of experience, they'll fix it right the first time. Visit trustpj.com and stay off the ladders.
Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. 610-894-7415 or go online, retirereadyfg.com.
Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
Kia of CherryHill.com is the destination for the hottest brand in automotive today. Come pick out the gas-sipping Kia of your dreams. With payments anyone can afford. They have over 100 brand new Kias with MSRPs under $30,000 and over 400 new Kias to choose from, all of which come with the best powertrain warranty in the automotive business. 10 years, 100,000 miles. Go to KiaofCherryHill.com today and lock in your savings. Kia of CherryHill.com.
Guys, if you want the greatest night of your life, I mean your best night ever, then you gotta hear this. There's a new ED pill out, and it's from the makers of Viagra. It's their first new ED pill in over 20 years. This new super pill is called Viagra AGV, and it's unbelievable. It works super fast in only 11 minutes and lasts up to 14 hours thanks to its new vasodynamic delivery system. Plus, it's FDA approved and safe. There has never been any ED pill like it. It's unreal what it does to you. In testing, Viagra AGV crushed every other ED pill. It destroyed them all. And now, 9 out of 10 urologists are recommending Viagra AGV over any other ED pill. Every man alive needs to try this new Viagra AGV Super Pill at least once. Then you'll know why men are going crazy over it. So if you want to have the most incredible night of your life, you can't miss this. Go to scoreblue.com and try it while supplies last. That's scoreblue.com.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
The great one. A little bit louder. I don't know too much of that. What is it? 8.5 mile or 8 mile? 8 mile thing. But that one song he captures speaks to me. It's the music, the moment. It's your moment. Better than anyone. You can feel it. You know, that critical moment in whatever your career path is, whatever you're doing, you can identify this is the moment. Wow.
Have you seen the movie?
No, I did not.
Oh, you have to watch it then.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the song is, plays out the end of the movie.
Right, okay.
And that's the whole thing was him stepping into the music and the moment at the end of the movie.
Oh, okay.
So you got to watch 8 Mile. Great movie.
Let me go to Dan in Ocean City here on Talk Radio 1210. I don't know. Well, maybe I do, but okay. Hey, Dan, how's the weather in Ocean City? Yo, Dan. Come on, Dan. He had Pierre. I think that's Lebec Finn.
Who?
I can't think of another Pierre. Who's the other Pierre he's talking about? There's not that many Pierres out there. Yeah, I think that's the five-star restaurant extraordinaire.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. We'll take more in the next hour coming up. We got, and it's going to be interesting to hear what Paul Perez says. He's the president for the National Border Patrol Council. I'm going to ask him, we're in touch with them. They said, oh, sure, he wants to come on. I'm going to ask him his overall take now of Homan coming in, Bovino out. And, should Border Patrol actually be the force that you put into a place like Minnesota, urban areas, versus what their mission is on the border? Let me get to Joe of Exeter. I don't want to forget. I teased it here. Joe, good afternoon. How you doing?
Yes. Hello, Dom, and good afternoon. This is a brilliant
side question.
Side question today.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
My person of one name renown is the Hungarian known as Eugene Ormandy of the Philadelphia Orchestra.
So you think if we said Eugene, then people would know, right, Joe?
Yeah, there was only one Eugene in the entire Philadelphia.
Gotcha. Thank you, Joe. My God.
Maybe
and the way he went, Eugene. Oh, my God.
I guess. I mean, are there any other Eugenes?
No, not that I know of. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I misspoke. Paul Morrow's going to be next. I really want to get with him. Paul Morrow next, then we'll talk to the Border Patrol. This is the guy who solved everything well before Tom Homan got to town. Paul Morrow from Fox News next on Talk Radio 1210.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
This year, I'm giving my hair salon a total makeover.
Total makeover sounds totally expensive.
We updated our logo and colors, so I needed to print new signage, brochures, business cards, everything.
Everything will not be cheap.
Staples did it all, and I saved $100 on my order.
$100? Trim my whiskers, that's a good deal. For everything your business needs to print, let's go Staples.
That was easy.
Offer valid in-store and online. Ends 1/31. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Saw a t-shirt recently that said too much of anything is bad, unless we're talking about bacon. Now, we can debate that all day long, right? But the point is, portion control is a good thing. That can also be said about your retirement accounts. Too much risk, and you could get burned by a down market. Too conservative, and maybe you can't take that Alaskan cruise. Alan Cohen at Spectrum Wealth Partners understands portion control. He can build a retirement plan with a level of protection and risk designed specifically for you. And if you don't want any risk at all, he can do that too. Call Alan Cohen today for a free meeting to discuss it. 856-322-8686. That's 856-322-8686. Or online at SpectrumWP.com.
Advisory services offered through Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and SEC-registered investment advisor. Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and Spectrum Wealth Partners are not affiliated companies.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here, introducing the all-new 2026 Honda Prelude Hybrid, redesigned with cutting-edge hybrid performance and head-turning style. Coming soon to a Piazza Honda dealer near you. Discover Honda's complete hybrid lineup while you're there, including the popular Accord, Civic, or CR-V, with financing as low as 3.49% for 60 months. Piazza Honda in Philadelphia, Springfield, Langhorne, Pottstown, or Reading. PiazzaHonda.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
When it comes to your home, you shouldn't have to roll the dice with a small contractor or pay the high prices of a giant one. At Lemus Remodeling Group, a family-owned company, you get the perfect balance. Expert exterior remodeling from a team that's nationally recognized and neighborhood trusted. From roofing and siding to windows, doors, and gutters, the Lemus team delivers quality work, honest pricing, and a home that feels brand new. Call 610-GO-LEMUS to schedule your free consultation today or visit their website at golemus.com. Lemus Remodeling Group. Trust Lemus for a lifetime.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus continues. Live from Australia. Featherweight champ Alexander Volkanovski.
He is an animal.
Defends his belt at home in an explosive rematch against Diego Lopez.
You gotta be kidding me!
And the always dangerous Dan Hooker. Yes. Throws down with powerhouse Benoit Saint-Denis in a high-action lightweight showdown.
There's never been anything like this.
UFC 325, Saturday, January 31st, only on Paramount Plus.
All right, so it was Pierre Robert. I acknowledge my mistake. You can't get them all right. Dom Giordano Show. Stop it, Leslie and others. Oh, that's a massive blunder. Why were you thinking Lebec Finn? I don't even know if he was named Pierre. You can look that one up, Henry. Never heard of the Lebec Finn. It was 5.5 stars. Yeah. All right, Paul Morrow is 6 stars. He is at the Mangione hearing today. Since there's no death penalty there, itching to talk with him about that. But first, let's settle the family business and what's happening in Minnesota. Paul, of course, Fox News Channel, Fox Nation with his own show. He is the former NYPD inspector and commanding officer of the Legal Bureau and an attorney at DeMarco Law. Paul joins us here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Paul, welcome in. How did it feel the other day when Tom Homan, the ultimate professional, validated, even though he didn't know it, exactly what you said to me the Monday after the Good shooting happened? They got all these people here. Why didn't we not cordon this off and stop this chaos, do our operation, and get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, it does sort of feel, I mean, if you run operations, it's kind of the obvious point to go to. I think the real question now is how much is really going to change, because the Trump administration has set out 3 very clear metrics. They want those bodies that are deportable from the county and city jails They want people that have already been released from those jails that are out on the streets also found and turned over. And then they also want the police, upon arrest, to notify them. Essentially, they want Minneapolis and Minnesota to stop being sanctuary jurisdictions. And that's just not the position of the local officials. And so I'm not sure where this goes.
Yeah, and Ellison now has gone public. Of course, you can't trust him on this. I think Homan had somewhat of a deal on some of that, Paul, saying, nope, there's no deal. We don't have that. I'm sure he was under tremendous pressure also. And I thought Homan did get something there. Did you think he got anything at all of those things you mentioned?
I thought he might get the jail thing done because, it's less arguable. The optic is not as bad. The problem is that is going to be an actual procedural thing that would be put in place. That is to say, the corrections department would have to take these bodies out of detention, turn them over quite officially to federal officials for deportation. The problem with that is that it's quite choreographed, and there would be a time and place for it to occur. Essentially, it'd be like a perp walk, which means you'd get a lot of media, which means that the mob there is going to see it happening in real time. They're going to know when it's happening. Realistically, they can just camp outside the jails. And I just think that is going to be a non-starter for the locals. I think the activists there are just going to lose their minds over this. And it's going to be a lot more visible. And they can plan for it more than they could for the way things were going with the Bavino approach, which was a lot more hit and run.
So, Paul, what happens? What would you advise next? And don't feel free. I mean, you're in that position. I think you could advise if Trump asked you on this, the totality of this. Obviously, Trump doesn't like the optics, wants to do what he can, but get out of here. Politically, I don't think this harms him in the long run, but it can't go on to see the stuff that we've seen. So what can they accomplish in this point, and how that's reasonable in your view?
Here's what I would do. I would be going into federal court with the names. It's a finite group of names. You're talking about 1,400 people. I'd be going into federal court and filing writs of habeas corpus. That is to say, produce the body.
Right.
You'll get those writs because these people are deportable. So you go in and you say they are de facto deportable. They're here illegally. They've committed these crimes, and they're all going to be felonies because these people are locked up. Either that or they are recidivists. You'll get those. And then what I would do is I would serve them directly on Fry and Waltz, because those are the people that are responsible for these bodies, so you can serve them. Why does that matter? Because, first of all, the optic would be terrible if and when Waltz and Fry don't produce the body under a federal court order. But also, if they don't produce the body, now you have those two officials, Waltz and Fry, are violating a writ. They're in contempt of federal court. Makes them arrestable. And you would have federal law on your side. This is why the supremacy clause is there. If you are going to violate federal law as a state official and openly defy it under a court order, you are therefore in contempt. And that's going to give them no place to go. Now, it's a lot of legalese. It's a lot of work. You're going to have to get people almost on a revolving door going in and out of federal court. It's going to clog the system there. So be it. These federal judges in Minnesota have proven that they are not friendlies, that they seem to be willing to bend over backwards to allow this nonsense to go on. Good. Make them all work. Get the federal writs. If they defy it or they try to pick it apart, do what has been happening, which is go up to the Eighth Circuit, which is more centrist leaning and which will almost certainly ultimately decide that these bodies should be produced to the federal government. And as I said, you'll have a terrible optic nationally, and I think they would get the narrative back from the Trump administration, and ultimately I think you'd be successful, because I don't think anybody is willing to stand up to this here and be potentially willing to go to jail. I don't think even Jacob Fry, as much as he wants to pander, I don't think he's looking to go into federal lockup here because he's guilty of contempt of court.
That makes sense to me, too. I mean, because it's obvious this is a finite number and they want to do what they can and then get out of there. It just can't continue in the way you and I have talked about for weeks. Now, you're at the hearing, I guess it is today, for Mangione. Is it the Biden judge who said legal infirmities, that means no death penalty for you. Is it the same judge?
Yeah, it's the same judge that's had this case all along, and she's relatively new. Full disclosure, I had some dealings with her when I was still working, in both of us on the opposite sides of an issue. She is, it was unsurprising to me. Those of us who came out of the last hearing said that it would likely go this way, but I got to be fair. In her defense, this was a novel use of the law on the prosecution side. Essentially, the federal system is really not configured to charge standalone murder charges. You have to import another charge. They call it the federal hook to get this murder charge that they were charging, which is murder through the use of a firearm. You need a predicate offense. In this case, they used stalking as a quote-unquote crime of violence. That's what's required. And so the battle all along here has been, is stalking a crime of violence? And there's really no case law on it. It came down to statutory construction and all these very arcane uses of the law. And the bottom line is she decided that, no, I am not going to hold that stalking is in all instances a crime of violence, because there are instances where it is not. And as a result, you lose the predicate charge. That takes the murder charge that carries the death penalty off the table. And as a result, he is no longer facing the death penalty unless the prosecution appeals and wins that at the Second Circuit. It's unclear whether they will. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, because it seems to me that that is what Pam Bondi wanted all along here, which was the death penalty on the table.
So, Paul, effectively, in places like New York and other states, I thought the feds could do something here, but I hear what you're saying. We really don't have the death penalty effectively pretty much in a lot of places in America. Do you concur with that? It's just not going to happen no matter what you do.
Yeah, it's not going to happen in this case unless, like I said, they win the appeal. But then let's remember something. Then you have the fact that you got to convict him, which, she let the bag in with all of that evidence. So that's likely, I think going to happen. The evidence is very strong. But then you have a whole separate procedure for the death penalty. And remember, you have a Manhattan jury pool. So even were they to get what they wanted, which is the murder charge that carries the death penalty, there's no guarantee that the jury is going to vote for that. And so all of this could have been somewhat performative, that they came back and gave him life without possibility of parole anyway. So that could happen federally. That's what's on the table on the state level in Alvin Bragg's case. And there is this argument that maybe they should go forward in that way just to try to make sure that he gets that life without parole sentence, because, there's some feeling on the federal side that maybe the Bragg office is not quite up to the case. They lost the terrorism charge, which they should not have lost. It did fit that, but I don't know how they blew that. They seem to have blown it in the grand jury. I don't quite understand. And they also said immediately that they wouldn't appeal it, which surprised me as well. This is the state case. So there's a lot of sort of vectors blowing through this. They're both charging ahead full blast. It looks to me like the state case will go first. Very unusual for them to be going simultaneous like this. But I wouldn't be surprised if the federal case gets appealed. That'll slow things on the federal side. The state case will go forward, and then they'll hold the federal case in escrow to see if they need to go forward on it. And the death penalty would be the reason.
Now, is he in this hearing? So I'm asking that, Paul, because my question is, this guy, is there a vibe about him that people faint, women faint? A guy tries to break into jail with a pizza cutter to free him. What is it with this guy?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's managed to, do that thing where he hooks his crime to this larger cause as opposed to some sort of venal acting out of what looks to me to be quite a spoiled child. His comportment it's funny you should bring that up. His comportment in court is kind of unusual. He's not cuffed, and he kind of saunters in someplace between a sort of sauntering and maybe even a sort of aggressive sort of stride into court. He very much telegraphs that he's completely unintimidated by the proceedings. You don't see him smirking. He doesn't do that. He's not disrespectful, but he's not a guy that walks in wide-eyed looking around like, what did I get myself into here? he still seems, if I had to guess, if you talk to him, if you had the ability to talk to him, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he just says, I have no regrets. I did what I did, and I did it for the right reason. This is just based on a cop's read of his body language. But it strikes me, look, federal court is a very august atmosphere. It is church-like for a reason. Right. They want to, sort of convey the idea that what's going on here is larger than any one person, and it's a struggle for universal justice. And it's easy to be intimidated by it, even sitting in the gallery. There's a lot of pomp and circumstance. It doesn't seem to affect this guy. He walks in, he's got his hands behind his back. I thought he was rear cuffed. He wasn't. He's just sort of walking in casually. He has his middle envelope. He drops it down on the table. He sits down. It's not like he's abashed in any way. So, yeah, since you bring it up, that's my read on how he is handling this. He really doesn't seem very concerned.
Oh, my goodness. It's just hearing it, I'm seething here, Paul, from having to sit there and see this. So your Fox Nation show, is that on today? Is that already taped?
Yeah, what did we tape? It actually goes out live, but then it stays up taped.
Okay.
So we did it live yesterday. It's up there now. We ran through 3 really interesting cases. So those are up there, including this case just breaking about the snowboarder from Canada who's charged as a cocaine kingpin and all these murders with the Sinaloa cartel. This is going to be one of those sort of coming to a theater near you cases, and a number of other cases as well. So, yeah, it's on Fox Nation. I appreciate you mentioning it. And you can catch it there and catch me at opsdesk.org. And, that's where the people can find me.
Paul, have a nice weekend. Thank you so much. Boy, coming right from the case. We really appreciate it here in Philadelphia. Thank you, Paul.
Anytime. Take care, Dom.
Paul Morrow here on Talk Radio Troy. Imagine this guy, Henry, the hands behind the back, kind of sauntering in to federal court. No cuff, nothing. Dropping the thing down here. Yeah, what the hell? Where's that pizza guy breaking in to get me? Women swooning over this guy. All right, we'll have Dom's Money Melody in a moment. Let me go back to Ocean City. Wanted to give him his due here, though. Dan had a good name, and I don't know why I was thinking of Lebec Finn. I don't like that food, but it's no longer there either. It was the biggest 5-star, whatever it was in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Dan in Ocean City
I think he's gone.
Okay, Dan. All right, we got Pierre Robert. Let's go to, now here's one that doesn't stand the test of time, but at one point, this would have been a potential winner. Joe in Hatfield. Joe, good afternoon. What do you have today?
I've got Sally.
Okay, explain.
Sally Starr.
Well, explain. Come on.
Children's show. She was in Philadelphia for years on TV.
Right. Well, more than that, all right, dressed up as a cowgirl, the horse, the whole thing, a blonde. Henry and Sean would have the moon can land here, with Sally Starr. But
that's why I need people to explain. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. Look, it's in the call. It's not.
You can't just blur it. You have to explain.
You have to explain.
There's obviously ones that Dom you wouldn't be more familiar with, and there's ones that me or Sean wouldn't be familiar with, and that's why we want you to explain your answer, not just blurt it out.
Well, that's the whole thing of
you want to win at least.
Right, any day that we do the side question, it's not a blurting thing. It's just engage us a little bit. Yeah, Sally Starr at one point would have been big, and if you said Sally, that's who it would be. Yes. A lot of cop stuff, the horse, the whole thing. All right, 855-839-1210. We're going to talk with the, I'm not sure if he's interim, whatever, the Border Patrol Union guy, Paul Perez. See what he thinks. Are they being blamed too much? I mean, I've liked what Homan's done versus Bovino and Christine Ohm. And you heard Paul Morrow early on. Why didn't they cordon this off? You would have less problems, fewer problems. Okay, right now, though, it's time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
We are playing today for a pair of tickets to Bucks County Paracon, the 3rd annual Paranormal Conference, February 28th at the ZLOC Performing Arts Center. Love the ZLOC in Bucks County. For tickets and more information, visit bucks.edu/tickets. And don't forget, every day, Dom's Money Melody is brought to you by NavyLeague.NavyPhilly.org. Or is it, wait a minute, it's NavyLeaguePhilly.org. I don't have it in front of me here. I think it's NavyLeaguePhilly.org. NavyLeaguePhilly.org. Great group of people, men and women, who are trying to keep the service Coast Guard, Navy, Marines, Paramount here in the Delaware Valley. You'll love being part of it. NavyLeaguePhilly.org, NavyLeaguePhilly.org. Henry, what do you have?
Yeah, Dom. So, side question today, we're asking for that local icon who you can just, call them by one name.
Mm-hmm.
So, clearly, I'm going to play you an artist who goes by one name. The song, however, is done by someone who went by two names, but we all know him as one, and that would be Elvis.
Okay.
Right? When I say Elvis, there's no mistaking it for Elvis Doomerville or, the NFL player or anything like that. There's only one Elvis, and that's Elvis Presley. So I'm going to play you. You know what? You got me there. Got me there, Sean. But I'm going to play Elvis's Can't Help Falling in Love, covered by another one-name artist. And the only thing I'll say about this one-named artist is that he's a loser. So let's take a listen.
Arrest this guy right now.
Well, like I said, he is a loser, and he goes by one name. So
one name.
One name.
Hit us with that, and you are going off to the Paranormal Conference. By the way, we'll have the winner of the week for the $50 gift card. Thank you, Mr. Harvey, Jim Harvey, at Gallows Seafood and Harb's Burger Bar in Northeast Philadelphia. We'll have all that play out. Jump in at 855-839-1210.
Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
In the city, and you have a neighborhood with row homes, and you shovel out your spot. Do you have priority to that since you did the hard work?
Unfortunately, you don't.
Is it really unfortunate? Why would the rule be different? On a sunny day, you have no right to that spot.
Right.
Unless you have a handicap spot or whatever like that. Why is it different when you do the shoveling of the snow and people get really triggered over it? Oh, that's my spot. How dare you? And then they put the chair out there, right? The folding chair or the lawn chair.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Hi, this is Larry Steinhaus, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy houses from people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly. Well, all you need to do is call 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I promise to answer the phone and help you with your situation. That's right, your house may be cluttered. It may be a house that a relative left you, or it may just be a house you just want to get rid of. 855-939-1137.
A new year is the perfect time to look around your home, especially the kitchen and bathrooms you use every day, and think about a refresh. That's where Kitchen Magic comes in. They're a family-owned company crafting quality American-made kitchens and baths since 1979, and they make the process simple from start to finish. Right now, enjoy 30% off kitchen cabinet refacing and 50% off bathroom installations, plus the opportunity to lock in current pricing. Start the year with a home that looks better and works better. Visit kitchenmagic.com today.
Autoimmune disease, difficult to treat and even more difficult to diagnose. If you've had Lyme disease, post-Lyme, or any type of autoimmune disease, you probably know how difficult it is. That's why you should contact Dr. Molly Fantasia and the team at Innovative Medical Associates. Through their unique hydration protocols, Dr. Molly and her staff have helped hundreds navigate the difficult journey of autoimmune, Lyme disease, or post-Lyme. To set up the initial consultation, which is complimentary, call 856-489-0505. That's 856-489-0505. Or visit their website, innovativemedicalassociates.com, for additional information. Do what many others have done who have either been misdiagnosed or just led down a path to nowhere. Contact Innovative Medical Associates. That number again, 856-489-0505.
Dawn Stensland here. Oh, the excitement is building. Portugal and Spain this spring. You know, I wouldn't go anywhere across the pond unless Conservative Tours was running the show for you. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And after the last 2 adventures in Europe with you, I wouldn't recommend you to anybody else. Fine dining with great wines, seaside villages that take your breath away. They are so stunning to behold. 5738, yes, that includes your nonstop flight from Philadelphia to Lisbon. The picturesque Douro River Valley, 4-star hotel properties, and dining events to rival the best in Europe for 10 days. Portugal is Europe's best kept secret. I want to take you there before the secret's out. Private Portuguese tour escort, step over the border into Galicia in Old World Spain, fly home from Porto. 888-733-9494, conservativetours.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
That's exactly right. All right, a real loser, one name. You know him covering this song. Who is this? Let's hear it. All right, let's go to Kevin in Bucks County. All right, Kevin, who's singing the song?
Great clues today. That would be I'm a Loser, Baby. That's Beck.
All right, nicely played. I'll put you in there. All right, Henry, any more on this?
No, I think that was pretty self-explanatory. Is one of his top songs is called Loser.
Okay.
So.
By the way, on the Epstein documents release, oh, my God. See, and I'm not going to verify any of it yet because I'm not going through 3 million pages of documents, but a lot of bad Bill Gates stuff in here. We'll see the clarification of it, and, you know, as it's fully released on the fly here. But I'm looking at it on Twitter and looking at it on Fox. Oh, man, this guy. Jimmy Fallon on Twitter. At least Don Lemon will be judged by a jury of 12 now, more than people watching him when he was on CNN. Somewhat over the top, but somewhat absolutely true. And we played you Larry Krasner again today, going off last night with Caitlin Collins, and this white supremacy stuff with ICE, etc. The facts are that as currently constituted, 23% of ICE agents are self-described Hispanics, and 17% are African American. Now, that doesn't mean anything to the other side, but it's just a fact of the diversity of this. And they don't like it because, you know, the $50,000 bonus to do this, et cetera. As I said yesterday with Springsteen, could have been a little bit more nuanced, talking about working class guys taking up this job that's difficult to do, et cetera. But no, we couldn't have that. It's still an all-out attack. And I think Paul Morrow's right. Things seemed more unsettled today now in Minnesota than yesterday. We have the national shutdown going on of sorts, sporadic at this point. But, of course, the teachers' unions are in on it. In New Jersey, they're wearing blue in solidarity with this. There are some businesses shut down in our area. We'll see how much that virtue signaling pays off. And, again, the point that's been made here is, and I'm watching some of the footage today, remove the ICE agents from this crowd control sort of exercise. You know, if in Minnesota, these people are going to engage in it, we still can't get the help of the locals or the state police. Well, that's on Minnesota. What ICE ought to be doing, and Homan agrees with this, is they ought to get into doing the mission, have it cordoned off as best they can to route these people out. Do not engage with these crowds. And Robert and I were talking, I get it, how maddening it is. It's no good's going to come out of this. That's not what their mission is. Now, we have coming up the head of the Border Patrol Union, We'll ask him about all this and how does he feel, the public opinion and the stuff that's going on this. I don't know that Trump is going to replace sooner rather than later. It might be later. He doesn't want to appear to be weak. The head of Homeland, Kristi Noem, I don't think she's up to it publicly. We've seen that play out. The Hannity interview last night. And Bovino has been sent back to California. But Homan can't be all things on this. I don't know. You can make him the head of Homeland Security. He's right where he should be. All right, let me take one more. Gary in Newtown. Gary on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Gary.
Hey, Dom. How are you?
Good.
Happy New Year. Next time I'm calling in, I'm going in with the buzzer.
Okay. All right.
I couldn't find it. My wife's not home, and I don't know where she keeps them.
Okay.
Anyway, my answer is, before I get to my side question answer, I have a beef, and I would love for you to ask E.J. Antoni, what did the $7 trillion from Trump's first COVID response, Biden's response, and more spending, what was the effect on housing? Because the inflation is related to money supply and money scarcity.
I'm sure it helped to inflate it. We know that. And also what helps to inflate it, or at least rent, are the people that are here illegally coming into the country, pushing that up. Yep.
Oh no! It's the people here illegally. It's the money supply. It is the BlackRock and the 157,000 homes that they own, and that's just one private equity firm. So yeah, all of that it's a perfect storm for sure.
All right, Garrett, what's your answer?
My answer is Roe approved, and she did understand when I texted her Joe space ELL. She goes, I think I would have got that one. But my answer is Sherelle, and she replied, Parker.
Very good. Thank you, Gary. Yeah, Sherelle Parker all the time, named after the Sherelles. Her mom dances a lot. Yeah, that would work. I think. I don't know. People in the suburbs, you say Sherelle, are they saying Parker? Sherelle, Parker.
That's where my mind went.
Would not?
No, that's where it went.
Okay. Yeah. I think that would work. All right. I don't know if we've gotten the kill answer yet, though, of one that just reverberates. I know it's out there. All right. Coming up, we're going to talk with Paul Perez, the head of the, let me get that straight, to the president for the National Border Patrol Council. What does he think on how this is being billed, some of the changes that have been made? And what should be done next? How do the Border Patrol feel about it? 855-839-1210, though. We'll get to you on Talk Radio 1210. Let's talk for a minute. If you're a Pennsylvania, New Jersey homeowner over 60 years old planning to sell your home in 2026, if so, there are 10 new rules you must know affecting seniors if you want a fast, top dollar, and stress-free sale. More importantly, why not get all that? Join me and Diane Cardano-Casaccio, my great friend at Cardano Realtors, for our next free breakfast seminar. It's tomorrow, Saturday morning, January 31st at 9 a.m. I'll be there around 8:15, 8:20 or so. We can talk a little bit before we get started. It's at the Hilton Garden Inn in Fort Washington. Now, that's right off Route 309. Diane's going to show you 10 new home selling rules for seniors, low-cost ways to stage your home, and insider strategies for you to win when selling. Also learn if you should downsize now, about capital gains, should you sell your home as is, and even whether you should sell first and then buy, and a whole lot more. Diane really goes into detail, takes plenty of questions. You'll get a signed copy of Diane's new book, Hidden Cost of Overpricing. Do your research, get prepared, get a great breakfast, and sell your home. Don't wing it. All you have to do, it's all free. Just call 215-576-8666. Remember, you can Zoom if you have to. It's better in person. Get the breakfast. We're not delivering. Be there. Online, you can RSVP to 215-576-8666.com.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The most important part of your financial future is the firm you choose. You see, all financial firms are not the same. Traditional firms that sell securities can't guarantee income and are vulnerable to bankruptcies, market losses, capital gains taxes, and ongoing fees. But the exclusive crash-proof retirement system continues to protect over 6,000 clients from market losses and bankruptcies, and provides guaranteed tax-favored income with the potential for double-digit interest returns with no fees whatsoever. Our one-of-a-kind proprietary system continues to protect billions of dollars in assets. Are you in or near retirement? There's only one crash-proof retirement for the American retiree. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn on February 17th, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
At Virtua Health, we're redefining heart care.
Our heart rhythm team at Virtua is really working at the forefront of technology. There's constantly new advances.
Like cardiac clinical trials and breakthrough treatments for atrial fibrillation.
Treating atrial fibrillation with ablation and treating it early allows for the best outcomes for our patients. We can make a meaningful difference in patients' lives.
Virtua Health, here for complex heart care, here for good. More at virtua.org/hereforgood.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, newnordicusa.com, or your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Auto Group studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
All right, big issues, big guest. We just heard from Paul Morrow here on the Dom Show, and things not exactly, a bit more unsettled in Minnesota than we thought with Homan. Joining us, someone who's joined us before, how about Border Patrol and their thoughts on this, at least the men and women in Border Patrol. Paul Perez is the president of the National Border Patrol Council, joins us here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Paul, welcome back to Philadelphia. Thanks for joining.
Good to be with you guys.
So, Paul, when we see the events of this week, if you could give us a sense of the feeling of Border Patrol that you represent, to see Nome and Bovino essentially removed from the center ring, Homan coming in, what are the thoughts?
Well, look, we've got a great relationship with Secretary Nome, and we think she's done an outstanding job. Tom Homan is a good guy. We've gotten a great relationship. We've worked with him before. The thing is, Tom Homan's going to come in. He's going to look at it strictly from a law enforcement perspective, having served, 30 years and been the director of ICE. So he's going to go in there and he's going to have a reset and try to convince these sheriffs and police chiefs and, the mayor and the state to cooperate with us. He's been empowered by the president to draw down the assets, and I think we can come to the conclusion that if they allow us to go into the jails and go into the prisons and get the people that we need to get out of this country, we can limit the footprint that we have with federal agents there. And so it's just a reset. It's a change that the president wanted to see, so that we can actually go in there and negotiate. But what we're not going to do is surrender. The secretary has been clear. Tom Homan has been clear, and so is the president. We're not going to surrender Minnesota to anybody. We're not going to say we're going to stop enforcing the law. It's going to continue. It just may be with a smaller footprint if we can convince them to agree and actually hold to their word.
Well, let me ask you, though, somebody who's lived this, though, is Border Patrol suited to do this as operationally? What you do on the border is different. You have to deal with people who might fire on you and all the rest, Paul, but you don't have to deal with mobs around you as you're doing it. So the tactics you would use as a Border Patrol, are they suited to this?
Well, I can tell you, we've deployed, we've trained, we've done riot control, we've done breach control, we've done perimeter security. That's not our primary mission, but our law enforcement officers are trained to do it. What we'd much rather be doing, obviously, is protecting the border, and that looks like what is going to wind up happening. I think they're going to draw down our agents and bring them back to the border. But yeah, we're capable and we're able. We were helping ICE because when we were overloaded with the chaotic border chaos that the Biden administration brought, ICE came in and they helped us out. So we're returning the favor. We're helping them because they didn't have enough agents and officers out in the streets. But now that they've been able to hire a lot more agents to put out there, and now with these negotiations ongoing, it's probably going to be a short matter of time before they redeploy our agents back to the field.
Here's my criticism, Paul, though, and I don't know if the men and women who make this up might tell you, and you look at it and say, yeah, what should have been done here, and Homan said it, Paul Morrow from Fox has been on with me several times saying this, in the good case and even in the last case, there were 3,000 federal agents, give or take, there in Minnesota. They should provide a cordon where people that are trying to interfere are blocked. If they continue to resist, they're locked up. You have a vehicle, you take them out, and you go to the feds. In your training, do you concur with it? You just can't go in and do your operations with all this chaos and these people on you. What's going to happen is we're going to see situations that develop where people are put into really horrific situations.
Yeah, and that's what's been occurring. So our agents, the better task for our agents is to provide perimeter security and make sure the ICE officers that are doing interior enforcement aren't attacked, aren't bum rushed and assaulted. So our agents are way better suited to do that more so than ICE is. We've got longer training, we've got more police training, and so that's a better option for us, which is to provide perimeter security and make sure the entry teams go in and get the targets that they're going after.
I hope that we're all on the same page. I wish it had been done early on. I think by the role that you guys take, it would have been great to have you in that role. Paul, anything else you want us to know coming up as far as what you see in coming days here?
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be dependent on whether or not the mayors and the governor actually hold to their end of the bargain. If we make a deal with them to reduce our footprint, are they going to provide law enforcement to back our ICE officers up? Because if not, we're going to be in the same situation, and we have to protect our federal agents. So if that means redeploying, I mean, the ball's in their court. We'd like to see them hold up their end of the bargain and make sure that they can provide those agents out there.
Thank you, Paul. Have a nice weekend. Thank you for the time today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's maddening to me. Paul Morrow said it 2 weeks ago. He agrees ultimately here. Homan said it the other day. I don't get, look, I'm not sure Christine Nome is capable on this, Bovino. That's their role. And then not just to cordon them off, but to have the facility there with all these agents and resources to lock them up, continue to take them out of circulation. Don't engage with them. Let ICE engage with who they're targeting and going in and getting them and getting out of there. Again, I get why people say, well, they're still interfering, et cetera. Okay. It's not me saying this. It's Trump. He doesn't like the look of this, and I agree. Remember, this is political, too. Remember, do you want to win? What's the politics of this? The left is overstating. They're smelling themselves here thinking, oh, man, we got them now. We've taken away the big issue. It's a loser now, immigration. Well, if it plays out as we saw the last couple of weeks, emotionally, you're going to see some people say, I didn't sign up for this. Now, you can attack them, you can criticize them and say, what do you mean? You voted for Trump. Trump is the one realizing this. He put Homan in. Now we're seeing a setback today. Ellison and the others are under pressure, so they're reneging on what Homan told us was going to happen here. What's the next move? Again, a centerpiece of this is direct operation, move in and out, cordon off, arrest if you have to, but do not engage in these big mobs and center and all that. You do that, and if they rush you, what are you going to do? What kind of force? Because you're not going to be backed up. I don't know if we're back to that again. The state police and others won't come in. It's not right. It's hostile. And we can sit here and say, well, why can't Americans see that? Emotionality, again. Illegal immigration, going after it is still a winning issue for the midterms. But some of the things that have gone on here, and Kristi Noem's explanation and Bovino, they're not flying. It's not me just saying this. It's Trump sensing what I'm sensing. And that's why he took these actions. I don't know if he'll keep Noem there as the head of Homeland Security or somebody else will be tagged in. Little unclear. He doesn't want to appear to be weak with this, but maybe in a few weeks or month, you might see that. All right, it is the lightning round next. We really have been flooded today. Got to come with something big here, though. Remember, hit us with someone whose single name is going to be recognizable here in the entire region. All right, we've heard some wild ones. The Eugene one still sticking out. And I messed up. Pierre, yeah, particularly recently. I don't know why the Lebec Finn guy was on my mind. We've had several, like Chase, where Roe didn't know what we were talking about.
I'd like to give an update on that one, too.
Yeah, go ahead.
I asked her if she knew who Joel was, and she said Embiid. But then she was like, in all honesty, I had to look that one up because I don't know sports, so...
Well, she knows that one. Oh, my God, though. We're inundated. What the heck?
Yeah, well, the same way she should know Chase. She should know Joel Embiid.
No, that's a little... We may need a couple of others. Frank Canal was one I told you. I said Chase to him, our production guy extraordinaire, and he said bank. I mean, we're like...
that's a thing.
I know. He didn't have a name even to come up with. To your point, there was no other Chase, but he didn't say Utley. Yeah, maybe a reason he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. No, I think he should. Okay. How about Cole? Another guy that shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
I would immediately go to Hamels, though.
Yeah, would people in the Delaware Valley, Cole.
You couldn't. I don't know if you could do a Jimmy or a Ryan, you know? Maybe.
No. You would have to be talking sports. There's so many Jimmys out there that even Frank with Rizzo, because of how strong the last name is, I think a lot of people would go with this. Like the guy that called in with Sally Starr 25, 30 years ago, you would have won with that, potentially. Now it's like,
I didn't know who that was.
Yeah, exactly. It's 855. I'm sure Drew will come through. People are obsessing it. I see a good one. That's Earl of Taconi's is questionable. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe. I don't know now. This is not easy.
I mean, this is the only one.
Yeah.
I like his answer.
Yeah, but I don't know that the average person walking down Market Street, you say this and they go something. Would Sean know that? I'm not sure about that.
I don't think so.
All right, no. All right, and you work at the orchestra. Interesting. All right. The only thing I know is Joe Exton was on brand today, as usual. You can't knock him off, no matter what. 855-839-1210, lightning round next.
When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have someone else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement but don't have a plan customized to your goals, that's kind of like taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in your suitcase. Seems like a stressful way to start what should be a relaxing time. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group can help you unpack your savings and build a plan to help reduce future taxes, along with a clearly defined income strategy. Call Jim at 610-894-7415 for your complimentary retirement game plan, or visit retirereadyfg.com. That's 610-894-7415.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC. NPN number 2083768.
Philadelphia homeowners, your home is one of your biggest investments. Closet Factory helps you protect it by adding custom storage solutions designed to last. From closets and home offices to garages and pantries, Closet Factory creates American-made, custom-built organization that increases function, beauty, and long-term value. Call 215-461-4013 today or visit closetfactory.com. Closet Factory, smart storage built the right way.
Your day doesn't wait. Between the school run, the office, and the grocery list, you need to know what's happening in Philly now, not an hour from now.
At KYW News Radio, we're obsessed with your quality of life. That means real-time traffic for your commute, weather that actually helps you plan your weekend, and fearless reporting on the local leaders making decisions that affect your wallet.
Stay connected. Stay informed. Tell your smart speaker to play KYW News Radio.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. All Dom Giordano listeners, follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
All right, this is too good to be true to look up, so I'm going to go with it. Shohei Ohtani, when asked, was he about deportation, mass deportation efforts, replied, at least through the translator, who knows, but it's too good to look up. We're not looking it up. I'm excited for less traffic. All right, there you go. All right, there's another plus. The Schuylkill Expressway will not be as crowded.
I wouldn't say
All
that's
right,
true.
well, we'll see. The translator, I'm not sure. Yeah, one guy is no longer with them, so who knows the accuracy of this with all that translating going back and forth. All right, Drew in Upper Darby, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Drew.
Hey, Dom, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. You know, real quick, Dom, I'm with Henry on this because every Chase I know is named after Chase Utley. But, hey, Dom.
Go
like,
out in the streets. Go at 69th Street right now and just say Chase, and let's see what the heck they say.
Chase and Sanborn Coffee.
Oh,
Hey,
yes,
Dom,
there you go.
hey, Dom, not many teams are able to boast that one of their star players shares the same name with the main character of a famous Hollywood movie. And that's, I know it's kind of old, and that's Moses Malone of the 83 76ers who swept the L.A. Lakers.
Yeah,
Thanks, Dom.
To your point, Drew, if you said it today with Moses, though, I'm not sure. But
You're poo-pooing every answer that's come on here.
Well,
would this
they're
person
all
be known by?
sports. Well, I mean, it's a little bit dated. You're dating the other ones. I'm saying that the sports thing, I think that's the only Moses you could know. My sadness in life is I never got to try to block him off going to the basket. The sweat alone was a weapon. I would have said, you got to towel this guy down every 5 minutes. It's illegal.
If you're trying to block him going to the basket, you'd still be feeling that hit today.
Well, I think he's the all-timer to try to block off from getting to the basket. If he wants to get to the basket, the only better was Paul Silas, who ran out of bounds. I don't know if you can do that today. Impossible to block off. But Moses, though, unbelievable. Lance has what I think is a good one of longevity and a name that's unique. Lance in South Philly. Lance, what is yours?
Dom, I'm going with Yuki Washington,
Okay.
Denzel's cousin. He's been on the air for 40 years. He's smooth. He's covered a lot of events. He's a former high school athlete, choir boy. You name it, he did it all.
Yeah,
Yuki Washington.
Very much. I've been at gospel events with him, and I played a golf hole with him. I don't know if he still plays that well, but he's close to a scratch. I don't know how he had all the time to do it. Yeah.
All right, you.
Oh, yeah, he's very, very long swing, very good. All right, the Earl of Tacony's got an intriguing one. Earl, what's yours?
Well, you said I have to sell it. So originally he was born Frank. That's why he's on the famous Frank's mural at Dirty Frank's Bar, 13th and Pine. But you got to believe that most people will recognize his nickname. In fact, he was so popular at the time that they even named a boat after him that used to service down on the Delaware River, and that would be the Tug McGraw. He was a relief pitcher for the 1980 Phillies, and he was one of 6 Phillies who died prematurely from brain cancer.
Yeah, and if you say Tug, you're saying people will know in Philly.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think it's a great one. I'm not sure about it, though. You know, if you say too young, you don't know Sally Starr. Is it the same thing with Tug McGraw?
I guess that's more because I knew sports. It's like that was the only one today. The Sally one was the only one I didn't know. Like Patty, I could have gotten with some help.
Okay.
Like there's no other Patty in town, but like.
All right. Greg's got a good one. Just passed away, sadly. Greg in the Northeast, Talk Radio 1210. Let me see. Why am I doing that? Hey, Greg. Well, who's yours?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, and mine, like you said, he just passed away. He was on two Stanley Cup winning teams.
Yes.
The Broad Street Bullies. Everybody knows him. Everybody loved him. He's a great businessman. He was just an all-around great guy. How about Bernie Perrant? I mean, that's a little dated. The next 20 years they may not know, but anybody that knows sports knows Bernie and Bernie Perrant very easily.
Yeah, and he has that catchphrase, only God saves more than Bernie. So you got a catchphrase that goes with it. But realize the last time the Flyers won, that was 51 years, going on 51 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as much as the afterlife he had, I got to take this one just to mess with it. But Mark in Philly. Mark, what's yours?
What do you mean mess with it?
Oh, you play around. It might be a winner. Go ahead.
No, I heard Joey Morlino.
So you're saying if I say Joey in Philadelphia, they'll think Morlino.
I don't know. I don't hear anybody else being called Joey except for Joey, and he's like 60 years old. He's still being called Joey.
Skinny Joey. I would say yes. If Joey Vento were alive a couple years back, I would go Vento. But since he passed, I don't even know how many years now. Merlino might be if you say Joey. Is there another Joey in Philadelphia?
I don't think so.
No, I think that's a pretty good one. All right, Sean. I know some of these you were overwhelmed by. Like, what the hell are these people talking about? But give us what you think works.
I think Joel Embiid was a really good one. He's the one I'm most familiar with, at least in my family.
Yeah, Joel. There's no other Joel that I can think of. It's an odd name. He's still pretty prominent, but
tell Ro that.
I don't know if Rose still. Yeah, okay. What do you say, Henry?
Yeah, quickly, I like Tony and Delco with Kobe and Lance in South Philly with Yuki Washington.
Yeah, I could go with either one of those. The names are so exotic. I would rather go with Yuki on this because longevity, Kobe, the world, L.A. Yeah, we can go with Yuki here. Although the Joey at the end is intriguing. Final, what do you say on that? Joey or Yuki?
Yuki, I'd say.
Yuki. Right. How about you, Henry?
Yuki.
All right, let's go with Yuki. Mark, I didn't mean any offense. I was playing with it. That's right. Go right ahead, Henry.
All right,
just spit them out quickly.
All right,
yes.
Monday's winner, Anthony. Tuesday's winner, Drew. Wednesday's winner, Gary. Yesterday's winner, Bill and Monco. Today was Lance. He put those on the hat here. That is a number 1. So that would make Anthony this week's winner of the week.
Anthony gets that $50 gift card to Gallows Seafood and Harbs Burger Bar in Northeast Philadelphia. Visit them online at gallowsandburgerbar.com. Congratulations. Have a great weekend, everyone. Mike Opelka and Sean are next here on Talk Radio 1210.
Do you know your numbers? What numbers? Your heart health numbers, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, and your body mass index. They're important, so ask your doctor. Learn your numbers, and if